This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more. We're live now.
It's good to know.
Yeah, we've been live, baby.
For how long?
15 minutes.
Really?
No.
This is good. I really thought that we might be. I guess I'm the joke here.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we're actually live now?
Yeah, we're just waiting for me to crack open this. Hold on, I'm going to make a whole lot of wrestling sounds here. That's good for audio. I'm going to get this going here. A copy of Death Stranding 2. Just gonna pop
that's
that
right.
in here.
Alex purchased a copy of Death Stranding 2 today with no intention of playing it anytime in the next 6 months. But if you're with
it smells
us,
so good. It smells kind of like markers.
if you're with us live right now, you can watch as he changes the sleeve
Mm-hmm.
in the disc jacket.
This is cool. The PlayStation 5. I always like reversible dust jackets, and the Switch has them a lot, and the PlayStation 5 just started doing them like when it came out. So I actually kind of like it. Look at this one. This one's like a cool. It's Sam Bridges with the baby, but it's just like mostly the baby. It's a cool image.
It's mostly the baby.
It really is.
I can't remember what he named him. I'm sure I'm gonna find out. But
Well,
I think it was Jack.
if it's anything like his character from The Walking Dead, he named it Baby.
No, I believe it was Jack. Jack? I could be wrong. It's canon. They explain.
I don't know. I never played the original.
Oh, is it on sale on Steam sale?
Even if it was, I don't know that I would play it.
That's good.
I've got other games that I need to try and make it through.
Let me see. Is that the price? No, that's not the price.
That can't be right.
No, that's the upgrade. Upgrade to what?
Upgrade to perfection.
Was there a regular? Oh, I mean, $16.
American?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
It says there's an upgrade, but upgrade to what? I mean, because did they have the regular? Oh, no, they didn't have regular Death Stranding on PC, so you could buy the upgrade for $4. But I don't know upgrade to what.
Maybe you get more stuff.
I don't understand.
That's a thing,
confused. Right? Because there was no base Death Stranding for PC.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's very confusing.
Horse armor.
Kojima product. Yeah, because all they have is the digital art book.
So maybe you're paying $4 for the digital art book.
Yeah, I mean the digital art book is you get Death Stranding Director's Cut, so maybe.
Would you look at the art from Death Stranding?
Yes.
Yeah.
It would look really cool. The character design's really fun.
Okay.
Yep. So now I've officially flipped my Death Stranding.
I won't disagree with him, but I'm more worried about he's never going to play that game. Let's be real.
No.
When are you going to play that game, Alex?
I don't know. I like the first one a lot.
Enough to play the second one?
Mm-hmm. I heard the second one is kind of better, kind of the same. So we'll see.
I just really want him to play that game. Is that too much to ask for?
Well, play a game?
Play the game that you just bought.
Mean, you can't play the game unless you have it.
Exactly.
Don't make me, Getty.
You can't make me game.
Yeah, you can't make me spend my money wisely instead of buy more Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy cards.
I'm not part of a podcast that specializes in playing games. This is a joke to you?
Yes.
I was making a joke. I bought the decks and I've asked Getty and another friend to play Magic the Gathering with me, and nobody's taken me up on it. Everyone's
He
like,
asked
no.
one time.
I've asked. No, that's not the only time. There was actually another time. I told you. There was 2 times that I was like, Getty, we should hang out and play Magic the Gathering, and you're like, I'm not hanging out at all.
I mean, that sounds like something that I would say, but I was only asked.
Say.
I was only asked one time.
No, I asked for a specific day because you weren't making plans to hang out and play Magic the Gathering. I said that. I was like, fine, Getty, this weekend. You're like, sure, Sunday, and then you never spoke to me again. And then I texted you. I was like, okay, I guess we're not hanging out.
Yeah, I don't remember what I did Sunday, but that's fine because I finished up some games and wrote a review and. No, that means we have to start the episode.
Oh, yeah, we'll start it.
All right, fine. This isn't my podcast. Okay.
It kind of is.
It kind of is, yeah.
It's not. It was forced into this. You guys were like, here, I'm done with this. I don't want to play with it anymore. And then it became whatever this is.
Yeah, but your hands are all over it now, so you're complicit in it.
Your fingers are in the pie.
I can just not show up. Welcome to session 296 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. This week, I can be your host. You can call me Eric Getty Gettinger, and let's say that I play video games and video game accessories. With me, as always, Alex Day One Arona and Jolie Bear DeWitte.
Angelina!
Good God. We're going to dredge up everything, huh? Yeah.
You liked that one. You liked it when I called you Angelina.
I thought it was funny.
Because you're my Jolie.
Weird.
Is it any weirder than anything else?
Yes, because it's targeted at me. That's
every movie I see with Getty, I put my hand on his knee. He's like, please stop doing that.
It gets real uncomfortable really quick.
Then I yell at children in the theater.
HR isn't at the movie theater.
You know what? I'll give Alex credit. The last movie that we went and saw, he didn't have to get up and... Wait, did you run for a bathroom break during...
No, I did not.
Because normally how it goes is that the...
drink a bunch of booze before we start.
The AMC that we go to has the booze counter, so he'll go and he'll pound like 2 gin and tonics.
Okay.
And then we'll make it half an hour into the movie and he'll be like, oh, I shouldn't have had that second one. And then he'll disappear.
It's gonna be peeing then. Yeah, break the seal, Pat.
Yeah.
All right. But we're a podcast that talks about mostly video games, so let's do that. We've got a whole segment here called Early Adopters. And in Early Adopters, we're going to talk about alphas, betas, and games that I found on the first page of Alpha Beta Gamer, and now you guys got to play them. So
I'm surprised you didn't go with the double claymation.
I thought about it, but everybody's real hype on Formula right now. And
Really?
And Chicago is going to have the NASCAR event happening the 4th of July weekend. So I thought I'd go with a racing game here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's start with the racing game. So, Formula One movie is coming out. It's big hype with Brad Pitt. I assume that he's going to race.
People are saying it's good.
He's going to crash into some stuff, probably? I don't know. Anyway, we played Formula Legends, and I realized pretty quickly that I am not great at racing games, and that's probably why I stay away from them.
It took me a long time to get any kind of qualifying lap.
Yes, I was going to say that. So this is... I don't think it's truly top-down... I don't think it constitutes that, but you have an angle behind your race car a bit. Or was it? Yeah, it wasn't top-down exactly. But you have a Formula One car. You're racing around the track. The demo is pretty limited. There's a couple of cars to choose from, but for the most part, there's just one racetrack. And like Alex said, you you have qualifying laps, And if you go anywhere outside of really...
No, I don't think it was anywhere. But you have to hit something.
No, because if you... there were a couple of times when I, like, went up against the green line, and then it was like, nah, you're disqualified. It's like,
Okay.
Really? Yeah, it took me quite a while to get a qualifying lap.
Yeah, and then I kept trying again to get it better, and I just couldn't even get another qualifying lap.
But, I mean, handling on the car is pretty much what I expected for a high-speed performance vehicle like that. So you're going fast, and it can be difficult to control that race car going around the turns, and that's where I had the biggest trouble. Like, the first turn in that demo always got me. Every single time.
Dude, it is a horseshoe hairpin turn. It is rough. It is rough. That one's real bad. That one was quite frustrating.
There's some like S-shaped turns too in there that are pretty annoying. Yeah, I didn't do a qualifying round, partially because I didn't realize what I was getting wrong. So, I just kept going at it. But I also must have too much Mario Kart on the brain right now because I kept on trying to figure out how I could sort of slide around the turns.
Oh, yeah, you were going to say find a shortcut.
Trying to drift through these things, yeah.
I'm not that out of touch. But I don't think that's the nature of that kind of racing anyway, right? They're pretty close to the ground, and it's pretty straightforward.
You're not supposed to slide.
Yeah.
No, just graphic or technically accurate. So you can drift, but the amount of drift that you'll have is really not what it's meant for.
No. So the racing does feel good. They got the sense of speed right. I think some of that is the audio visual, so it actually feels like you're moving past things fairly quickly. The sound of the engines revving up as you go into different gears complements it well. I do wish that there were options to play with other racers here. This is it's a limited demo, so it's not a judgment against it, but I know that in the trailer they show full-on racing, and that it probably would have benefited a little bit from a presentation standpoint, but I like what they're working on here.
Yeah, me too.
No.
They do well enough job. There's really gas and reverse, right? I didn't think there wasn't a hard brake, was there?
Their left trigger was the brake, but
it was reverse.
Well, a brake reverse. So if you hold it down long enough, you'll eventually go in reverse. But
I felt like I was missing buttons, so I went into the actual settings to figure out button configuration, and they labeled that as brake.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I was curious if I missed something as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep, pretty simple. Gas, brake, / reverse, and then you go through these tracks trying to hit the time, trying to get your best possible time in time attack mode. It's an F1 game, so I think that there is a lot of premise with this kind of stuff. I just these are left to Big Brother of the podcast, Philip Arona, who will then, which we maybe he'll end up doing something with us, like make a video of it, just because out of the quality of it. He ends up being like a lot of the race stuff whenever it comes to like kind of anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have him at Nintendo World Report just like, all right, we got another racing game for the Switch. Your brother's into it? Yeah, he is. Okay, cool.
Somebody has to play those games. It's Phil.
Yeah. What I always find fascinating is he taught me about Formula E, where it's E cars, and the crowd can cheer you on and vote for you to get like a power up boost. Yeah,
is he serious right now?
That's real. It's real.
Yeah,
it's real. It's real. Next time Phil's on, we'll talk about it. He's told me about it. Like, that's kind of cool.
I should try to introduce that to my dad, because he's really into to racing. So
yeah,
I just imagine what it'd be. Here, this person got 50% of the vote. And did extra boost power for the next 10 seconds.
Yep.
I feel like he might not. Maybe your father's not as hesitant about the newer generation of stuff, but I'm pretty sure if I showed my dad that, he'd be like, back in my day. It's like, this isn't racing. I'm like, all right, Dad, calm it down.
I don't get many back in my days, but I'm sure I would get a disapproving look.
Back in my day, space shooters were pixel art. We liked it.
I don't know that that's 100% true. When did the original Platypus come out? Because Platypus Reclayed is
Was there an original Platypus?
They reclayed it, Alex. They got new clay.
I didn't know what that meant.
It's the sequel to nothing. It's a fake out.
All right.
Side-scrolling, left to right spaceship shooter, but now in full claymation, which is just like a neat little twist.
2004 was the original Platypus.
Okay.
It has been reclayed to
so many times
for a new generation to play this game, this shoot 'em up, if you would.
They call them shmups.
No, they don't.
Nobody calls them
shmup
that.
sketty.
Nobody calls them.
They're called shmup sketty.
I'm not calling it that.
Say shmup.
I certainly will not. But yeah, Platypus. It's like an arcade game. You are controlling a spaceship. You're shooting all these different things. They're splattering as you shoot them out of the sky, though. It has that nice clay feel to it as you're splatting stuff. Splat. Squelch?
Splatformer is another one that you don't like to say.
I could say splatformer, but I don't think that that's what this is.
No.
No, it's a shmup.
I'm not saying that.
It's a 1942 light. No, it's a Gladius light.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Gladius.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm on board with that. I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we need, like, there's a couple of games that we've seen now that have gone the claymation route. I think it's ultimately like a cool new design. I want it to be cool. I want it to be the standouts, but the thing I'm wondering is that, like, does it do enough on its own? So playing this did feel like all those other games, and I didn't know if the claymation really gave me enough where I was like, okay, this is a good iteration. When we got Harold Halibut, that was the one where I was like, see, point and click adventure and claymation, I think that does do enough, considering that point and click adventures do kind of live and die a little bit more on the art style. I don't know if these shooters really benefit from claymation.
This game plays like a game from 2004. Namely an indie game from 2004.
What was that one that was for PlayStation?
Great question.
Okay, I'm into it. You guys keep going.
You do that.
Okay.
But I mean that in terms of indie games, there were people out making creative stuff or having creative ideas, but sometimes it was very blatantly we're trying to pay homage to this genre, but it's kind of nondescript, right? So it might be like this is a competent shooter. They got the enemy spaced out pretty well. I do like the claymation look, though. If you looked at the original Platypus,
Super Stardust HD.
The original, okay. The original Platypus has a claymation look as well. If you'd looked at the Steam page, so this is broadly cleaned up visuals, and it definitely looks a lot better and more multi-layered in the graphics and details. But
wow, I didn't even realize.
It's still functionally. I didn't either. I looked it up. But it's still functionally the same game. And if I had one nitpick, or I got two nitpicks with it. One is that, and maybe it's a demo thing, but we could have more power-ups, I feel like. More attack types.
More variety.
Because right now it's just the straight shot and then the spread shot.
No, there's 4.
What did I miss? Because there were the homing missiles, but I figured that was...
there were missiles.
Then what else did I
Okay, so each one of the symbols that you had, they could flip. So there was, the homing missiles. At one point I was shooting donuts.
Yes. Okay, the food. Yeah.
But there was something... Yeah, you're right. There was something else. I just don't remember exactly what it was.
Okay, so erase all of what I just said a minute ago about that.
To be fair, I feel like you could collect multiple power-ups in a similar game in this genre, and it would exponentially increase what you have. In this, you just get more time with the power-up.
Right. Yeah, and maybe it's the mechanic of it. Maybe that's what I have a little qualm with. The other piece is that I don't like the level 1, stage 1, 2, 3, 4 format of stuff. And in the demo, I felt like I was really missing a nice big boss to shoot down. Because that, to me, that's a core piece of these kind of games, is you play the level, then you fight the giant boss at the end.
Yeah, where was that?
So that was my little qualm or concern, is that if you go too long in this kind of game without having a boss, and it's too many series of levels, it can get a little samey. And
I want 2 levels with a boss.
I could do that.
Like level 1, level 2 ends with a boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it feels decent. It's a decent side-scrolling shooter. It's just
the pacing needs to be adjusted. That's all.
Structure. Yeah.
Yep. Fantastic.
I like my clay games.
We're
Maybe
due for a clay fighter.
Who was your go-to in Clay Fighters?
I never played that game.
I haven't played that game, and that was on like the original PlayStation, wasn't it?
That was the bad Ichabod. No, it was
Nintendo
64.
It was 64. Okay.
And it was SNES. It was 63 and a third
right.
was that. Yeah.
SNES.
But it was SNES. Yeah. I was bad Ichabod. He was the guy with the skull, the pumpkin head. You guys suck.
What
did you do?
I mean, you're the one playing, bottom barrel D tier fighters in your spare time.
No, you know why he really sucks?
Talk to me once you've played hours of Dark Ages, that fighting game.
Dark Ages?
You've not played enough guys, God bless the ring.
You're right. I have not played enough guys.
Nobody has played enough.
Dark Ages was all right. It was all right. Biofreaks? You guys getting on Biofreaks for the 64? No?
No, Bloody Roar.
Oh, I played Bloody Roar 1 and 2. Don't talk to me about Bloody Roar. That's not a D tier.
I wasn't. I thought we were just talking about games at this point in general.
Let me know once you've mastered Sonic Fighters, okay? Let's go.
I really don't need that in my life.
I think Alex wants to leave this segment, and he wants to move on into a break.
No, I want to talk about the altars, man. I want to talk.
Are we allowed to talk about the altars? Shouldn't you have a review that you're doing?
Yes,
we
it's
already.
in progress.
You know what? We already talked about the altars.
Not on this show.
Yeah, on this show, yes. We played a demo for it.
Early adopters.
You played a demo for it.
Didn't you have the same game on early adopters twice?
I was not available for that episode, so I wouldn't know.
He claims he wasn't available. He was. He just didn't want to show up.
The altars rules, and I think it's gonna get buried by Death Stranding. 100%.
Okay.
It is a beautiful base management sim in the way that I just it just instantly kind of fed into it. You know what I mean though, Joel, where it's like you start getting the loop pretty fast.
Right. And the thing about those kind of games is that it's about creating a system that then connects to another system and becomes a self-perpetuating machine.
And then part of it is also that so your character there's a the catch-all, the quantum computer, which is just a big black monolith that can to do these massive computations at all times. And it could read your character's like brain and then point out his entire timeline, and then do a mass calculation on what would have happened if his life had done, if he had, instead of, like, his dad was an alcoholic, what happened, and he stayed with his mom and his dad, or he fought his dad away, or he let dad stay, right, or he left home, right, there's these branching paths, and each time it'll, like, you could see, because, like, it'll be like, oh, okay, we need an engineer. And you go through your timeline, and you'll find one branch that says engineer, and you can have to read what happened. Like, oh, in this case, he decided to not go to be at a government experiment and stayed back and ended up getting an engineering degree. And then you get that guy, and he's a real blue collar kind of Joe, and he doesn't like that because you got to cloned him. Mm-hmm. But he's not even like he's like, in my timeline, in my past, my life was different. But it's like they weren't really. They didn't have a past. They didn't have any timeline. The computer mathematically calculated this is probably what you were like, and made fake memories, and then put them in this clone of you. And so it's cool. And then, but that guy's mad at you, so you have to like befriend him, and you have to like, what in your past? What is in your past that you guys have that you guys shared? Mm-hmm. And you end up like cooking pierogies because your mom used to cook pierogies.
Okay.
And like now you're friends, and now you assign him a task, and he gets bonuses for this, right? He gets bonuses because he's an engineer, and then you clone yourself again for say I get a scientist, and the scientist was the one that decided not to get a job, but there was a scholarship, and you failed to get it, but he went a second time, and he got the scholarship the second time, and that's when he became this high-level scientist, and he hates the working man, and he hates everybody lazy, and so then it's like him and the engineer are constantly butting heads because he's like, you need to work more, let's do a performance review on you, and the engineer's like, hey, I'm trying to work here, what the hell? And so you have to go there and break them up all the time. And then you assign the scientist to do a job, and the engineer's doing a job, and you're doing a job, and you just keep as you go, the base expands and what you need expands. So then you have to clone more versions of yourself, and like one of them super pro union and just trying to get everybody on his side. And there's like all of this different stuff happening all the time. And it's very fun on how all of it works, and everything is kind of an emergency because you're stranded on this planet that eventually a sunrise will happen that's basically just going to set you all on fire. Mm-hmm. And so you're constantly trying to move away, trying to find where a crew is coming, a rescue crew is coming.
They're not coming.
It's like that shrinking circle in Fortnite.
Yes. But again, you're with all of your clones, and then you're a giant Ferris wheel.
I was waiting for him to get to that, but that's how you're escaping the dawn that's going to destroy you. Is your base just like rotates, but all of the cells inside of your base, they don't. So everybody's just like hanging out and doing their stuff while it's going across the landscape.
It might as well be like shipping containers.
No, it's not. Segments. No.
Stop. No, but like in the middle, in a grid. And what's cool is that you again also will eventually I want to put a greenhouse, and it's like 5 cells wide. I have to move this cell here and this section here and move this here to finally get 5 cells.
That was one of the gripes that I had when we played the demo, is that it wanted you to. It wasn't explicitly clear about how you do that, because it was like, all right, now you need to build this, but it wasn't like, in order to build it, you had to move something else around. So,
yeah, and then the other part was like, it doesn't always tell you what you need at any time. It's like, oh, build the thing, and I'm like, what do I need? And then like 4 menus in, it'll say, oh, you need this resource. I'm like, oh, where do I get that resource? That's new. Okay, I guess I got to figure it out. It's not like I just spent 3 days when the sun is coming in 7. Dang it, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's just super fun, how you're constantly doing that, you're exploring and seeing new things, but also then you're just trying to manage everybody and putting them in different jobs, and you could do overtime contingencies, and you find items like, hey, I'm gonna give the engineer a lava lamp, and he's like, oh bro, my lava lamp from college, and you're like, hell yeah, it's like And then once you you start, because there's sections where you move. That's like the intermission between chapters, where the Ferris wheel's moving, so you can't really do anything, and all you're doing is broing out with the bros, which are all you.
Broing out with the bros.
It's fun. It's fun. We were playing guitar and hanging out, doing I made an acoustic guitar, and everyone was super hyped, and we were all just playing tunes and hanging out and drinking. I made one of them asked for an entertainment area. We all played a bunch of beer pong.
Nice. Yeah.
All right.
It was good.
Yeah.
The Altars is a very fun game, especially in the way that it is. Like it tricks you into being like, oh, I'm doing base management stuff, and I'm just assigning people, and there's like a clock. Okay, this will take 3 hours, which is like 5 minutes, and you're like, oh, you could speed it up by doing this extra thing, and then it's only 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh man, this could just be a mobile game.
But it's higher polished than that, right? And
It's very high polished. It looks great, and again, the characterization going through your timeline, and like it'll show you like 7 different branching paths, and it'll say medic and this guy and this guy, like all of the different jobs that you can pick from, and then
Who played this with me when we originally did it? Was it? It must have been Alex.
No. The demo ended before anybody got to play it.
I was the only one who played it.
Yes.
Yeah. That must be, because you've gotten pretty angry at us before for doing that.
I hate you guys so much.
No, the demo was for the weekend. The demo was the weekend, and you played it on Sunday, and no one else got around.
It's the freaking Weekend, starring The Weeknd and Alex Arona.
Anyway,
Alex Arona.
I definitely like all the different altars, and I like how they interact a lot of times, and how I have to deal with them and have these conversations. Because each time you do it, you have to explain to them, hey, so you're a clone of me, but not really, and we might die, so we're gonna need your help. Can you just really just bro out with us for a second, and then we'll talk about it? And he's like, yeah, just give me a day. I don't know what's going on.
The first guy was real pissed when I did it. He was like, hey, you're the clone.
Are.
I was like, I'm not the guy. You just woke up. You're obviously the clone. He's like, nah, bro, you're the clone. And I was like, all right. It didn't get much further than that during the demo, though. You just really have the one area to explore.
Yeah, so I'm further than that. There's but that's what each chapter is each different area. You're just in the area for roughly a month, 3 days of game time, and of course you have your own meter of how much energy you have to do the things that you need to do. So
all the while preventing yourself from becoming irradiated.
You got to make food for everybody. You got to keep them all happy because they get super pissed. A lot of them are just pissed kind of all the time.
Kinda.
Yeah. Yep. So I think everyone should check out the Altars. It's awesome. So
Alex wants you to check out the Altars. Go do it right now.
I think I made a little bit of didn't I make with Joel? I think I made a pre-game of the year list, right? And Altars was up there, right?
Oh, for you.
Oh yeah.
I think it was. Let's see. I'm trying to find it now. Altars is number 2. My current game of the year list.
Joel's will be Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, 2, and then Mario Kart. Nothing else. Not necessarily in that order either.
Number 1 is Ender Magnolia.
Is it?
Actually, when does Donkey Kong come out?
Next month.
That'll be Joel's number 1.
I'm not.
So it'll go.
I'm not even getting that game.
Yeah, you are. You just don't realize it.
Dirty boy. Getty, let's take a break.
Not of my own volition.
We'll take a break. We'll be back.
Getty, I've been feeling sluggish. I usually need 3 cups of coffee to get through the day. When I get home, I'm usually too wiped for gaming.
Alex, there's no way that drinking that much coffee is good for you. There has to be a better way.
I've actually upped it since we wrote this.
Oh, no.
I'm drinking way too much coffee at this point.
Oh.
But luckily, we partnered with Magic Mind to try out their 7-day challenge with their mental performance shot. 100% safe addition to my daily routine that kept me focused, mentally clear, motivated, and productive.
I mean, Magic Mind, what what can we say that we haven't already said in the numerous ad copies that we've read for them?
What I can tell you, Getty, is that did I ever tell you that I did a sensory deprivation tank?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did that for my birthday one year, and I gotta tell you, it centered me in a way that I could just clearly hear my breathing at all times, in this very slow, melodic way that it just kind of kept me feeling my own breath. And I can say the same for Magic Mind. I remember noticing how calm I was and how structured my breathing was to a very like zen place. It really kind of helped me get into the zone. It helped me focus, but also just kept me calm, patient, and breathing slow. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I know that when we had the opportunity to try the mental performance shot, I felt calm, and I definitely need that feeling of calm. I'm usually running pretty high strung, especially with you guys on the podcast.
We gave you an ulcer.
That wasn't you. That was work.
Well, Magic Mind will not give you an ulcer. It'll give you a lovely mix of matcha and ginger. And it's surprisingly pretty delicious. I was actually pretty shocked. You give us a lot of these, what are they called? What are the shots you give us?
So there'll be like various things, but it's usually just like one of them was ginger, black pepper, and some type of lemon.
And each time I'm disgusted, but I'm never disgusted when drinking Magic Mind. In fact, I did the 7-day challenge. I re-upped. I got more, and I was still like, man, this is tasty. So I take ashwagandha gummies too. Didn't need that. I was surprised overall by the effect. It's a mix of mushroom nootropics, adaptogens, and 100% of my daily vitamin C and D per bottle. Kept my immune system up, and I need it. My kid's in daycare, so I'm generally always sick, but not with Magic Mind.
Yeah, now we just have to get you off of the 6+ cups of coffee a day, and then you'll really be healthy.
Well, again, Magic Mind works with my cup of coffee to keep me energized. And now, we have a limited time offer of 48% off your first subscription or 20% off a one-time purchase with code SuperGGRadio20 at checkout. Or go to magicmind.com/SuperGGRadio20 to get yours today.
Thanks, Magic Mind.
Thanks, Magic Mind. What made you pick up Fashion Police? He reviewed that a while ago. Phil reviewed that a while ago.
It was cheap, and I remember enjoying it quite a bit when we did the demo.
Okay.
Trying to pick up some of these games that we purchase or that we try out, and then when they get cheaper, I want to grab them.
I mean, my what's it called? Wish list is over 115 deep. So,
Yep.
I get it.
Do you get it?
All right, you ready? You guys ready?
We can be.
Okay, coming back.
Tell me
We're
how
back.
to live my life, Alex.
I live it one Magic Mind at a time.
Aw, snap.
It's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever.
All right, calm down.
In fact, I'm trying
Bon
to live a lot
Jovi.
shorter.
There we go.
Bon
Trying to live a lot shorter.
Jolvi?
Jolvi. I think that
Bon
sounds
Jovi. There we go.
There.
Oh, Bon Jovi. That's pretty good.
Sure.
Given I hate Bon Jovi, but I like Bon Jovi.
He started as a Jolie bear, and he made it to Bon Jolie.
We'll go through
He's
the-
not. He is not going to let me
Or-
rest after this.
We'll go through the world tour.
Have a
Sure.
nice day. That's another one of his, right?
Yep. Yes, it is.
I hate that one too. I don't like anything that he's done.
But you know what I don't hate?
What's that?
The backlog.
Yeah.
Was he
'Cause-
wanted dead or
Back-
alive?
Yeah.
That's a decent one.
Okay, that's good to spite him. How about that?
Fair.
You have
that's-
anybody else play that song, it's pretty cool.
That's how I feel about Aerosmith. Dream On is good. Everything else can.
I could even get behind like Sweet Emotion, Love on an Elevator. I recently played the Aerosmith pinball game. That was all right.
A pinball game is about as much Aerosmith as I need.
I mean, they're all bad people, so let's move on here.
Fair.
I was already trying to move on, but I thought I'd let you live your best lives. All right. So we somehow survived early adopters. We did an ad read, and now we're in the backlog. The backlog is a magical place where we get to discuss video games that haunt us as a constant reminder that we're never going to finish every game that we've ever purchased. Well, some of us might, but...
Mathematically, the numbers do not work in our favor. We're going to die way before.
You need to pace yourself and not buy Death Stranding 2 before you know that you can commit the time to it.
Don't tell me how to live, Getty.
Trying to support the creators. That's all.
Sure. Because Kojima needed that. He was waiting for your $70.
He hates developers, and technically Kojima's indie.
You know, if Kojima doesn't make $1 billion, then he can't pretend to not be Jeff Keighley's friend.
Yeah.
Getty, don't you realize that he was told in playtesting that the game was too good, and he had to go back and
make it less fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that.
And that was the right choice.
Because he's an auteur.
I mean, what's the fun in it if people enjoy playing it? There's not. They shouldn't enjoy it or have fun.
There's joy in suffering. I mean...
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. Let's do a quick pulse check on Sekiro. Joel, did you get any further?
No.
All right. Pulse checked.
Yeah.
Backlog. Alex, Split Fiction?
Yeah. I like Hazelight Studios and everything they've done, from Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, A Way Out. I did not finish... I did not finish...
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. But I've been playing Split Fiction, and that game is rad. I got a review code for Nintendo World Report for the Switch 2. And I even ran tests on some stuff for it today. It is probably one of the best, it's their best game for sure. Split Fiction. If you aren't aware, Hazelight Studios makes games that can only be played by two people. There is no way to solo play this game, and in this case, you are two writers who meet while going to a big publisher. The publisher has invited multiple writers with promise of a big publishing deal. We're gonna publish your books. And then turns out that was all a lie, and they're using a giant supercomputer to suck out the stories of every single writer there, and then use AI to create their own stories and make a bunch of money.
Okay.
Stop me if you heard that one before. AI being used to replace writers. And in that case, then one of the writers decides that she does not want to have her brain sucked off, and because of that, she kind of tries to bolt and accidentally ends in a brain-sucking bubble with another writer. And that's a glitch in the system. They're not supposed to be in each other's brain-sucking bubbles. And the game is you going through the stories of both of them together as a team and trying to find glitches to take down the evil corporation while they're in the brain bubble system.
Okay.
All right.
Is brain bubble system the official name? Is that the technical name?
Yep, it is. That's what they call it. But what's so the thing about these games is that they've never been great with the story, and this is no different.
Okay.
It is very much a city, the city girl and the country. I'm from the country. The city's too loud and obnoxious.
Perfect.
And then the other one's the city's awesome. The country's boring and just hang out with a bunch of hicks on a farm. And it's come on, guys, are you serious? And so of course the country one writes fantasy stories with dragons, and the other one's cyberpunk, where we're doing cyber heists and using ninjas and explosions and jumping from car to car. And the city girl's this is too loud and too many explosions. It's very. It's like I just kept going like, can we just not? And then, but on the plus side, the game goes, yeah, that's fine, just keep moving. And I was like, great, I can just keep moving and ignore everything. There are other games they really ham-fist it home pretty hard. But now, like this one, they kind of like, they ham-fist it, but then they're like, just keep going. It's going to get wild again. It's going to get wild again. And they do get wild. There is a scene in the cyberpunk world where the character is like, we got to stop this nuke from going off. Use my phone to hack into the thing. And like you're like the one person is driving the cyber bike from building to building using her sword, which her sword has like every level, it was a story, and every story they each have two different powers that work together. And this one, the lady has the ability to throw her sword and it just changes her gravity. So you're throwing your sword at the wall, now you're riding on the wall. You throw your sword at the ceiling, now you're riding on the ceiling. So you're just like on this bike, this cyber bike, going from building to building on walls and stuff. And the other one's like, okay, I have to unlock this phone. And it's a mini game of you pressing the unlock button.
No.
And then doing multiple captchas. Like the little, like, you know, click the pictures of trees while the cyber bike is going nuts.
Come on.
It's the best. It's so good. And I'm like, and like the character's like, come on, what are you doing? And they're like, you have no idea. You keep moving. This is really difficult. It's so good. Just, yeah, stuff like that. And then, of course, you get like these side stories that are like, we're two teeth in the land of sugar. And like, wow, this is pretty crazy. Or you're like a bunch of pigs on a farm. There's just a lot going on in this game, but usually it's like between a cyberpunk world and the fantasy story. And like the fantasy story, like the one I play, the couple levels like that like really stick out was like one person can transform into a monkey, the other like a giant gorilla, the other person can transform into a fairy, and you're using those abilities to kind of help each other out, get from place to place.
Okay.
It's really fun. It's really a fun game, especially if you're coordinating. What I also think is kind of fascinating with it is that they've now implemented a new friend share feature.
Yeah.
And it totally works. The tricky part is you have to download the game.
So you can share the game with that person, but they have to have it downloaded.
Which is 69 gigs.
That's it?
I mean, that's
but also big. Nice.
So I had Alec download it, and Joel tried to download it as well. And it's 69 gigs. And then and then it was like, okay, invite your friend, and I did, and Alec was playing with me, and also he could jump in to a saved game I was playing with someone locally. We got to this section, and then I was like, all right, let's invite my friend, and it invites Alec, and then Alec's in there, and I'm like, do we start from where we were before? That's pretty cool that we could just pick up where I left off. And then the only other part is that he can't play the game. He can't like turn on the game solo. It's just the demo.
Sure.
But it's a 69 gig demo.
Right. Yeah. So that has to be the game you're playing so you can clear the fridge after.
Yeah, so I have to play the game with him. But now that he has it downloaded, I can technically play with him whenever I want. So that's really cool. I think it's a really cool idea, but there is the other hurdle is like, oh, hey, log in with your EA account. Alec goes, I don't have an EA account. I'm like, get an EA account. He goes, I don't want to do that.
Yep, that sounds like Alec.
Just get it done, man.
No, he's not going to do it.
He's not wrong. Everybody requires their own account now, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, EA is a special kind of annoying, but either way, I think that's a really cool feature to be able to do that. I think that I'm pitching that we play all like 10 hours of this on Extra Life.
All 10 hours?
It's super fun.
10 hours?
Yeah, I think that we could switch between partners, just because it's so fast and moving. Someone told me once though that if you think about it, you're kind of just going in a straight line. And like the game doesn't really do a whole lot except for like press button to help other person move forward in a straight line. Press other button to help someone else do something in a straight line. And I looked at that and said, you know what, that's okay. They do enough with the set dressing. They do enough with the big character moments. One of the side stories had like the sun was exploding and we had to put something into the sun to keep it alive. But like it's just shooting off these waves that instantly kill you, so you have to keep finding hiding spots. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is fun. This is like a new environment. This is very intense. And then just like, oh, we're pigs on a farm and that we have fart powers. This is also pretty fun. And then now we're cyber ninjas going to assassinate somebody because they gave us parking tickets. Pretty fun. You know what I mean? Like it's just they're every
it just
time
sounds really wacky.
I was really entertained the entire time, and I think that's kind of my thing about it, is that even like the person I was playing with isn't like an avid gamer, but enough, right? And this one I feel like you do have to have at least some experience. But they're really generous with checkpointing, and as long as the other person's still alive, the other person can instantly respawn. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty good that as long as you have one person that's like experienced, you'll be able to do it. And I think that's where I'm at with it. It's just like, man, this is fun, and I like where we're at with the experiences I'm having. The stages keep changing and are varied enough that I'm not getting bored. I felt like I didn't finish It Takes Two, but I definitely got a little bit annoyed with how the characters bickered the entire time. These guys are bickering, but then it's like, oh god, we're being chased by a pack of ogres. We gotta go. I'm like, okay, cool. Don't care about. I didn't even like. I forgot that they were bickering, and it was annoying because now we're just in this giant chase sequence. Okay, cool.
I mean, that game is about a couple going through basically divorce proceedings after being sick of each other, so contextually it made sense, but yeah, I get what you mean. My problem with It Takes Two is that it was just too long. So how do you feel about the length of this game?
I think it moves fast enough that that's what I was saying. It's like, oh, it's like 10 hours, or like it's like 6 to 10. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I didn't. It kind of flew by.
Okay.
Because it was just always something exciting to do. I remember I was recording footage for a possible video review, and it'd be like, oh, there's a side story. Like, we're like, okay, we're done playing. We're not going to play anymore. And then it's like, oh, wait, there's a side story. Like an hour later, we're like, man, that was a good side story. Where were we? Oh, right, we were going to go to the next part of this level. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it's like, I thought we were done playing. Like, it's getting kind of late. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. It just kind of moves, and you always feel like you're driving forward. I'm not really getting stuck anywhere. It's just a good time. And I think that if like we were to if there was like something we wanted to do in Extra Life, more of a long-term situation, I think that this is a very good one of those.
Okay.
He knows what he has to do.
And I've when we did A Way Out, that one I felt like was. The story really kind of made me feel bad, and it also had a lot more slower moments. So it's like if we're going through the gamut, I feel like It Takes Two was too long and also a little bit too difficult, and also I didn't like that story. A Way Out, also the story felt bad.
Mm. Okay.
It like no matter what, it was always depressing.
Maybe that's a theme. A constant theme.
Split Fiction is doing okay and like trying to keep it less that serious, and then at the same time it's also like, oh, it's AI. I'm like, God, please shut up. Please stop talking
not
about
the
AI.
AIs.
Yeah.
But also not the AI.
Let me tell you about Date Everything. No, never mind.
No, it's too late.
What else we got?
I mean, I played Fashion Police, but I don't want to bore you with that after you... You
Tell
just
me about your belt whip and getting them non-alcoholic appletini.
Those mocktails. Mocktails are an essential part to Fashion Police, as well as.
I thought that was so cool. That like such a cool detail. They're like, these people only drink mocktails.
Mm-hmm.
Like, That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
You're saving the streets of I don't even know where you are. It could be
Corduroy pants.
any city, but you're saving the city from drab fashion. You're going around with your fashion themed guns. One of them helps to gussy up or add some color to whatever the people are wearing. There's one that drains the color from like the really neon colors that you would see eventually. I think those ones, there were a couple that we got to do in the demo. Like one of the reasons why I picked up Fashion Police is because it was on a pretty good discount, and it was something that, I like me a good shooter. It helps to, take my mind off some of the stuff. Sometimes you just want to shoot stuff, okay? Mm-hmm. And this was helping people dress more fashionably. So if you had to qualify it, Fashion Police is a Joel shooter, or sometimes we call those boomer shooters.
I'm a boomer. Man, I am just the punching bag tonight. I don't know.
Hey, I'm trying to get you involved here.
Yeah, no, I get it.
All right, so it is kind of voxely. Main thing is that, like, the buildings look a little bit better, but like all the enemies are super voxely. They're even like two-dimensional. So if you run around them, they'll just be flat at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Which that can get a little tedious, but the different enemies have different weaknesses. You can't use one gun to defeat them all, except for you get a gun at the end which shoots just a missile, and it fixes the wardrobe of everything it hits. But for the most part, you're like running around with a gun that will, hem some pants, or it'll make it so that they're more tightly fitting. The enemies are so crazy. You just have like regular business people. You'll have guys on scooters. You'll have like big businessmen in like oversized suits. So those are the ones that you have to like, you have to like tailor their suits by shooting them with a gun that has like darts, which are supposed to be needles, to rethread it. And then at one point you get like a water gun, and I really like the water gun. I don't know why, but it was fun. It takes you places. It doesn't take you the best places, but it takes you places.
So you're saying it caused a big splash for you?
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Fashion Police, it doesn't reinvent anything. It definitely takes a different approach to the boomer shooter genre. You're not doing anything violent. You're just helping people fix their poor fashion choices. There's a couple of bosses. There's some side stories. If you want to do them, it's absolutely not mandatory. But, it's kind of fun. There are a lot of hidden things, too, during the stages. You can go around and find, like, posters of the main character dressed as different things. I sent Alex a picture because the main character was dressed as Titus from Final Fantasy X, and he was like, no. But the character always has, like a reaction when he sees it. And he'll, like, walk into a room, and one of them is, like, him dressed as Sora from Kingdom Hearts. And he's like, nah, not me. But, yeah. It's not a great story. At times, it's overly difficult. But there's some fun things. Like Alex said, you can whip people with your belt. And then some of the guns are more interesting and fun to use. So if you're looking for something that's slightly mind-numbing, but also a different spin on the shooter game, Fashion Police is probably up your alley.
I liked it. I liked what I played of it during that demo. I have it. I'm like, I should probably just like install this and knock this one out. It was always good though. I always liked the style of it. I liked the way the characters were portrayed and how they acted, and again, like just like little touches like the them all drinking mocktails and stuff like that.
Yeah, And then, like, you get a super ability where you slap... you slap some sense into them. So you just go around and you'll, like, literally slap them and then their clothes will be fixed. So this is where we're at. This is Fashion Police.
It's Fashion Police Squad.
Get it
Yes.
right.
Well, you only play as one character, so... I guess there's a second character. Sometimes she talks to you.
And the chief, right? Isn't there a chief?
There is no chief
Oh, okay.
that I'm aware of. There are like two characters, and then there's a third character, but he's trying to help you. It's kind of weird. All right, guys. I think that's all we have episode-wise.
That's an
I
episode.
think.
So unless Alex has something else crazy that he needs to tell us, we might be able to mosey into our final segment of the night.
You know, I actually do. I actually forgot.
What's
Thank
that?
you for reminding me. I have a thing here. I'm gonna just post this into our chat, but I also want this to be a thing that we're gonna put up on the episode. We'll put up on our website here. Let me find it here.
What chat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this in our.
Which chat?
Well, I gotta find it first. Just relax, man.
We've got like
relax.
3 different chats, so I need to know which app to move to.
Downloading now, and then we'll put.
I don't like
You're
the sound of that.
downloading.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You, Joel. You actively know what this is.
You do?
That's a great question. I do.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Okay.
That's-
There's a lot of lead up for hardly anything because we're gonna end up putting this probably on our YouTube channel and some other places as well.
Mm-hmm.
If I can find it. Is it not going to the chat there? Oh, this is a lot of lead up for nothing. There's a lot of lead up that's not going anywhere.
Okay. Well,
Well,
do you want me to?
Unfortunately for people watching right now, but fortunately for people listening on the podcast, they're not going to hear some of this. So.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yep. All right. We will continue to. We will do this offline.
Okay, fantastic. Let's move on to our final segment of the night. One last thing, and this week's one last thing is brought to you by Alec.
What happened, Alec?
Oh, he's not here, so it's brought to you by him.
Getty, look at our Google chat.
So are we now doing this?
Yeah.
I thought that we were moving on.
Okay. Oh. Yeah.
Did you AI something?
Nope, I did not AI something. I had a commission artwork of all of us as characters from Final Fantasy Tactics. You're welcome.
Why 3 of you guys look the same?
That's Joel and
That's-
Alec because they kind of look the same.
That's because they put a hat on me instead of me being bald for some reason.
Yes, that was actually the other thing. Was that you were supposed to be bald? I was like, oh, which one is Joel? And he's like, well, he's supposed to be bald, but you got a hat on. You're a summoner.
Okay.
How many
Somebody's-
fingers do I have?
Summoners. Are
Hold
cool.
on, I'm counting it. Okay.
It's not AI.
I seem to have enough fingers.
It's not AI.
All right. Okay. All right. So we're enjoying this picture. People who are at home watching this, they probably can't enjoy this picture very much.
Hold on. I'm going to put this in to... I'm going to change this here to our Be Right Back screen. I'm going to change this image
Mm-hmm.
so I can put it... hold on. Downloads. Oh, that's too giant. Here we go. Oh, that's way too giant. This is horrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you just want me to move on with the episode, or you want to continue to do this bit?
Oh, this is a fun bit for me. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm gonna. Put
Okay.
This image here.
Well, I mean, it's fine. I just want you to know that if people can't see it and we're just like, ho, 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 then it's only fun for us. And maybe that's the point of this podcast. It's only fun for us.
Yeah.
Nobody else. All right, one last thing. This week's one last thing is brought to you by Alec. You don't ask us where he is.
Where you at, dog?
We got the whole city behind us. My one last thing, I successfully made it through Expedition 33, got that platinum trophy, and now I have resigned myself back to Tales of Arise. And I spent 6 hours on Wednesday just trying to let the story play out, and it's never going to end. It's literally never going to end.
I heard that's.
But I'm going to finish that game. I'm going to finish it.
Getty, how do you feel like in your image that you're a white mage? I always picture you that way.
I am going to say, Alex, it's your turn for one
That's my
last
question.
thing.
That's my one last thing question, sir.
That is?
Yeah.
Well, you only get to ask something, so I don't have to answer, right?
I guess not.
Joel.
The only thing I'll comment on is I'm a believer of the mouse controls for the Switch too. It works pretty well. Works pretty well for at least the strategy game stuff. I would actually consider playing Civ on this with that.
Ooh.
Wow, that's impressive.
And let me tell you, it's real bad playing with normal controls on these games. Real bad.
Okay.
Well, now you have to do that and report back.
I also just want to say, since I wasn't in on it, thank you to Magic Mike for sponsoring us. What they've done for me, they introduced me to my wife, and they also, helped raise my kids and baptized them. Magic Mind, thank you very much.
Also, thank you to Jerem Castro for creating this fantastic artwork.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. This is fantastic. I love it so much. It's just not the best avenue to explore it. Maybe if you would put it up beforehand and then you're like, "Oh, did you guys see what we put on?" No. Okay.
I'm into it and I really like it. So, Jerem Castro did a really great job. All from the Giant Bomb, from one of the Giant Bomb fan groups on Facebook.
Sweet.
It's amazing artwork.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Blue Sky at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where sometimes we podcast. When? I don't know. You're just going to have to log in and find out. Sometimes it's on Thursdays.
It's Thursdays.
Every other Thursday, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Other stuff.
Other Thursdays, you guys are going to be possibly streaming some Magic the Gathering.
Nobody. I have tried. And even last week, Alec was like, "Oh, I'm just going to do a draft." And I was like, "All right, buddy, you have fun with that. Let me know if you want to tap me in." And then he just never logged in. But
I texted him and he goes, "Oh, I was playing Bravery Default and I just completely lost track of all time."
But what's funny is he set up everything, and when Joel went live this week to play Baldur's Gate, it said Alec is playing Magic the Gathering and drafting. I was like, no, he isn't.
Yeah, Alec is 0 for 2 for online presence this week.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. So Joel, what's the plan? Wednesdays?
Well, Monday's Baldur's Gate.
Monday, okay.
Sekiro, not a set schedule, but pretty much at this point, anytime I've got a spare hour or so I can plug through that and move on. Makes it sound like I don't enjoy the game. I am enjoying the game immensely. It's just every session is an uphill climb. It's that kind of game.
That's how the game is.
Yeah. I accept it for what it is. That doesn't mean I need to be happy about it.
Man, I gave you guys a head start, so keep keeping on. I know you can make it through.
I will.
Hey, I made it.
I will. And then I'm going back to Armored Core.
That is a bold-faced lie.
You're currently playing the hardest FromSoft game.
Is that right?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So it's like kind of one of those things. It's like, oh, I don't know if I can ever play Bloodborne or I can ever play Elden Ring. It's like, you can. You've beaten Sekiro. If you beat Sekiro, then that's kind of it, man, for you.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
You can dodge a ball.
I've seen it.
I've heard that before.
So if you can parry a sword or whatever they're attacking you with, then you can probably defeat an Elden Ring. All right, Alex,
Is Elden
you're streaming.
Ring the name of the bad guy?
Sure, nobody questioned that. Alex, are you streaming at any time?
I haven't lately. We'll see.
Okay, you continue to do whatever it is that you do here. All right, if you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. We also ask that you check out our Patreon, where you can get monthly pictures of our dogs, get your name read off as an executive producer on the podcast, free copies of Early Adopters, and even get a chance to play games with us, the dudes of Super GG Radio. Except for Alex, he's not here.
The Bros of Liebermans.
Just imagine.
Not a good reference.
You could also hang out with Bon Jovi.
It's going to cost you, though.
Yeah. How much? Go over
Your
to
dignity.
Patreon. Yes, thanks for listening. A good game, Alex.
GG Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
And we did it. That's the whole thing.